Over an argument?
What up, everybody? We back in this thing for since forever. The second time this summer. We almost back in full strength. We missing one for the time being, but we know how Mikey do. Mike have business to handle because he's a business handler. What up, everybody? What up, Chris? What up, Jose? What up, Rodney? What up, Endo? How y'all doing?
Chilling.
Oh, you can't see Mikey.
You can't see Mikey?
Oh, I don't see Mikey.
We've been talking to him like the last 10 minutes.
Let me bring him in. Hold on. Let me bring him in. I couldn't see him. Let me bring him in. Oh, there you go. I ain't see him.
Well, that's good you didn't bring him in because we're talking about something a little semi-serious.
Yeah. There we go. Let me bring him in. Let me put him in place.
Oh, this is different. I can't. Yeah.
Can't see nothing.
No.
Yes, yeah. It's
There we go. Now he in place. Now we out. We six strong. What's good?
Chris back from his cheek clapping convention.
That was Chris all summer long. Clap it up.
Bang, 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 bang.
Clap it up for Chris.
Chris, you muted,
everybody
bro.
ain't able.
Oh, we can't hear you, Chris.
Who?
Okay, now you're not muted.
You muted?
Yeah. No. Yeah, your sound went out.
Okay, your sound went out, Chris. I heard you before I went and started it.
Yeah. Not sure. He'll come back.
Yeah, when y'all see him, let me know because I can't see him.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. So, but yeah, Chris was back from his clapping convention all summer. So what we're gonna do is we got a few topics we're gonna talk about, and then we'll get into
Chris
that.
Back.
He's back. All right. See, that didn't take no time at all. No time at all. All right. There you go. What about now, Chris? You good?
Hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
All right, cool, man. Hey, knock it off with the cheek clapping. The Ashanti might be watching this.
All right, we don't want to mess your flow up, but as the
right,
kids say, we don't want to mess your rears up. We don't want to mess your rears up. So what we're gonna do is, first of all, how was y'all summer, man? Chris, we know how your summer was. Jose, how was your summer?
Pretty interesting, but all in all, everything's good, man. Glad to be back.
Cool. Hendo,
I'm here. So all I gotta say, I'm here.
Tell me a little bit about that sign behind yesterday. It was, some jokes about that sign yesterday on the stream with you and Yolanda. Yeah.
Oh, because every time she talks about Mondawmin Mall, she says Mondawmin. And I'm like, you are highly intelligent. I know you can read. And she's like, no, it says Mondawmin. I'm like, I've been living here for about 30 years. Mondawmin.
Coach Chris, when y'all come in town, do not go to that mall behind Hendo. Do not go to that mall.
I mean, it's a little bit safer than Columbus.
That's where the real violence happens.
Yeah.
At Mondawmin. The fight probably started at Mondawmin and carried over to Columbia. You probably brought them over to our neck of the woods.
First of all, I don't go to Mondawmin.
Yeah, stay away. But no, man, it's been cool, man. I've been, the coaching thing. I'm in the process of trying to get this new job. Fingers crossed for your boy. Living the life. Little Mikey running shit. Same thing. Same stuff.
Happy birthday, little Mikey.
Same thing, different day. When's his birthday?
Well, that was his big sister's birthday.
Oh, that was
Okay.
Oh, Sky, happy birthday, Sky.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Sky.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. He in April. He Aries.
Oh,
Gotcha. And B, what's good?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a dream not streaming all the time. But I fear I'm waking up. So
Yeah, you got to. I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons you got to wake up because your team got some promise. Got some real promise this year.
they got some real promise in the months of July and August every year, my friend.
Coach, I watched
it's September through January. They got problems with.
I watched your video on Derek Brown. I sent it to B. B got very excited about that. He's a terror.
Tell me your thoughts on that, B. And for those that don't know, I did a video about Derek Brown on the More Sip to Tally channel, and that video is a direct conversation, a direct reflection of a conversation me and B had prior to a Ravens Roundup conversation, because me and him normally are the first two here, and we have little conversations before everybody else come. And he let me know that Derek Brown had 103 tackles before we started streaming, and I didn't really believe him until I went and looked it up myself, and I was like, oh shit, he do have that many tackles. And I was I wanted to go see
the video game number.
I wanted to go see like how did he do it, and man, that dude he awesome
monster.
Yeah, he's continuing the long Panthers tradition of drafting great players and then not surrounding them with any kind of talent and wasting probably the best years of their career. He did get re-signed, so I don't think he's going to leave like Julius did, but I don't know, man. They've been an incompetent organization since like '95, so we'll see.
So as for me, I just been grinding them out, man. I did the top 50 players. I did the power rankings, and just been chilling, man. Me and wifey just been hanging out. So that's what we did. We took our big trip during the springtime, so we didn't do much this summer. But other than that, we just been here, and it's almost time to go back to work. Start year 22 teaching, and that's what we've been doing. It's almost that time. Actually, start Friday. Got us, some teacher days. Start Friday.
Wow. Okay.
Damn, already?
Yeah. Well, some of my partners back home, the kids actually went back today.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah, but our kids don't go back till next month. But we got a bunch of teacher workshop days, so we'll be into that.
That's crazy because as of right now, I don't have any more kids in school.
Your own kids?
Any of them?
You homeschooling Dream?
She's not in school.
But she hasn't started yet, has she?
She's not in school yet. She don't count, but she's not in school yet. But yes,
You don't count.
Junior, because she's not in school. But Junior just graduated, so
Nice.
that's it.
No more school shopping for you, bro.
Nothing.
For another year.
Must be a dream.
Right. What up, Cam? Cam giving a shout out to me. Then he give us hola to Jose. Mucho gusto, Brodney.
Nice to meet you too, Cam.
Hola, Chris. Sup, Hendo.
What's up?
Cam that touched all the bases. Appreciate you, Cam.
Cam left me out, dog. What's up, Cam? That we was homies.
Cam, you got to give Mike your shout out. But while we giving shout outs, don't forget the mugs. Mugs up,
man.
mugs up, mugs up.
Oh man.
See,
I know. It's been a while, so I brought an extra cup.
We've been gone for so long, we probably forgot.
Rusty.
Yes. It's one of those. I'm fading out a little bit, but that's the mug right there.
Oh, there you say, oh Mike. But let's get in this first topic. The whole summer, they've been looking for a third safety.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been this guy from Denver Broncos that is pretty much obviously the best safety out there. And that was Justin Simmons. But we didn't go that route. We went back to the old Alabama pipeline, so to speak, since NCAA is what we're playing right now, to the pipeline and got Eddie Jackson, who about 5 or 6 years ago was a all-pro type player. What do you guys think about the signing of Eddie Jackson when Justin Simmons is still out there?
Personally, Coach, could not care less. Couldn't care less. The hypocrisy to me is appalling. When it comes to wide receivers and offensive players, let the young boys burn. Let them get the reps in. We take snaps away from them. But when it comes to defense, we need to bring somebody in. These young guys aren't ready. So,
Yeah, I feel the same.
Let me ask Hendo a secondary question. What young guys or what young guy is he pulling snaps from?
I mean, I've always liked our Darius Washington. We got Sanusi Kane. We just drafted.
Mm-hmm.
So these draft picks, EDC's supposed to be cooking with them.
Bo Braid.
Bo Braid. Yes. So my thing is, now you're taking snaps away from these younger guys. How does that work?
Well, I mean, because this defense has always been their priority. That's that side of the ball. Yes, they'll get some young guys, but they're not going to let young guys just go out there and play. They want to make sure that every position is accounted for, even rotational players. They want to make sure they got guys that are going to go out there and ready to play. It's on the offensive side where they just like, whatever. We'll plug some people over there, and we'll see how it goes. But on the defensive side, they make sure they have everything accounted for, and it's fine. Right. I mean, I think he's going to fit well over here, but I don't think it's it's one of those moves. It's not anything for me to jump up and down about.
Yeah, and they signed a backup safety. That's cool. I don't know why their whole summer has been about trying to find a third safety instead of one of your starting guards or a starting right tackle or a starting wide receiver. And like you said, it's been 5 years since he was that guy that the Ravens are all excited about. Excuse me, the Ravens are all excited about getting. It's fine. I mean, he'll come in. I've seen a lot of people say he's kind of insurance for Marcus Williams, but he's been hurt as much as Marcus Williams over the last few years, so that doesn't really make much sense to me. But he'll come in and he'll play well, I'm sure. He's a guy who's had a lot of talent, but no, it's not any kind of needle moving signing.
All right. Now, I forgot to mention because Worley had shift to safety too. I forgot that name.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
brought Worley back too.
Yeah.
What you thinking, Chris?
Yeah, you're welcome.
I thought it was fine. I think it's a good Geno Stone replacement. A guy who could come in, just as a not a third down safety, as a third safety, because we know they like to give those 3 safety looks. So I thought it was fine. I don't think it's going to be, a groundbreaking signing or anything like that. I don't think it's the second coming of Ed Reed, but I think it's a good option for a vet who you could count on just in case somebody gets injured.
Now, mentioning Ardarius Washington, I keep a good story. Last year, I missed my opportunity to talk to PQ at this little camp they was in Hawaii. My connect worked the camp, and he had PQ on FaceTime, and they were calling me. But since it was so late back in the States, I missed the call because I was asleep. So PQ didn't attend the camp this year. Ardarius Washington did, and I didn't get a chance to get that same opportunity with Ardarius because he said Ardarius didn't seem as approachable as PQ was. I don't know if Ardarius was just like mean mugging the whole time or just was like standoffish or whatever, but so I didn't
because he got teeth like a honey badger. That's why it's intimidating.
And Patrick Queen will talk to anybody and wants anybody to talk to him.
Yeah.
I guess that is what he a people person. I guess that's what it is.
I didn't say that.
He just like to talk. It is what it is. But I missed out on that one, and I guess I'm kind of glad I didn't because if he got teeth like that, we don't know if we can do that. Chris, you funny boy. All right, next up. So me and Jose kind of hit on this on their show last week, and I'm sure y'all talked about it a little bit more in detail. But since all 6 of us are here, I want to kind of put this up here and let me make sure I get it up correctly and show everybody. This is a little segment from Stephon A. Smith last week when Harbaugh went on his high praise of Lamar, and basically was giving him confidence and just speaking highly of him. Let me make sure I get it up here. Okay, so I'm gonna play just 1 minute of it, and then we can all give our 2 cents on it.
And stuff like, I'm like, what are you talking about? We're looking at you and we're saying the roster that y'all have, the quarterback that y'all have, you should have produced more than 3 playoff victories over the last 11 years.
I'm just curious, were you a big Joe Flacco believer? Because I don't remember in the past you being extremely high on him.
No, but it doesn't matter.
But it's like apples and oranges if we're looking at Flacco versus Lamar.
No, first of all, I never mentioned Flacco. You're the one that just
you're talking about 11 years. Who was the quarterback?
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm thinking about a defense. I'm thinking about a running game. I'm thinking about the rough rider mentality the Baltimore Ravens have. I'm thinking about Joe Burrow Burrow not being there until a few years ago, and even up to that point, you weren't winning playoff games. There are an abundance of things that we can look at, and we've said over the years, the expectations for the Baltimore Ravens, they are Rough Riders, and they don't get blown out. They show up, they fight. We know what a great coach Harbaugh is. But in the end, it ain't just about the quarterback. We're not talking about, we brought up Super Bowl appearances because of Lamar Jackson. But I'm talking about Harbaugh, 3 playoff victories in 11 years, and you're talking about how we're.
That was the point I made the video about. Three playoff victories over 11 years. And it ain't just all about Lamar and his quote-unquote failures in the playoffs. Before Lamar even got there, you had enough talent to be at least get some playoff wins. Maybe not Super Bowl wins, but playoff wins. What y'all think about that?
So, Coach, I mean, they can see the video on their side. We don't see it on their side.
I think this side. Y'all can hear it, though, right?
No, I couldn't.
No, but I already know what the video is. You know, like we talked about it before. But you know, the paraphrase, this went back from last week when they were talking about John Harbaugh's comments about the media and how sometimes they say things about Lamar that are crazy and whatnot. And he was saying that Lamar could go down as one of the greatest QBs of all time, right? Mm-hmm. Stephen A was just basically a hit dog hollering, right? He didn't like the fact that Harbaugh took a shot at the media and he took a direct hit. He took that personal and basically said, "Hey, look, this ain't on Lamar. This is on you," you know. And he brought up Harbaugh's record in the playoffs and how they're just not getting it done. And he's right. Mm-hmm. But I don't like Stephen A. Smith, and I don't like his reasons for doing it because he should have been criticizing John Harbaugh. The only reason he took a shot at Harbaugh is because he felt like Harbaugh took a shot at him.
True. All right, so Chris, you didn't hear. So the part I played was he was basically saying what Jose said. He said you basically got 3 playoff wins in 11 years. What's the excuse for all that? Not just, you know. He started off by trying to say that ain't nobody talking about Lamar, which we all know that's not true. Because just 6 months ago they were saying Lamar wasn't worth the money that they paid him. So that's BS from the jump. But what sparked my interest was because like I was sitting here doing a video for the countdown, and he said, "Harbaugh, we talking about you. What's your excuse for not having more than 3 playoff wins in 11 years?" So that's when I stood back, and actually turned it up and started paying attention. And so that's when I made the video about. So my thing is, do you have thoughts about the whole since the last Super Bowl? Should they have had more than 3 playoff wins?
No doubt about it. Should have had more playoff wins last year. I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, you look at 2019; they should have had more playoff wins in 2019. It's not just the Lamar era. The post Super Bowl was a complete failure. From with that Flacco era after he got his contract. They did a major disservice to Joe Flacco. I mean, he didn't help himself either, but they did a major disservice with the talent that they put around him. So yeah, there's no doubt about it that they should definitely have more playoff wins than they do.
Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it goes without saying, right? Obviously, we would want to see a lot more winning here, especially in the money time, which is playoff time, and it's not happening. So I think it's fair. What Stephen A. said there was fair when you pointed at that point. But I think, like Jose said, I think that he just did that to kick the sand over the fire because it was pointed at him. 'Cause, bro, we know that's all y'all do. Like that's all y'all did was talk about Lamar. No matter what, that's all you did was talk about Lamar. And it's not, and we've talked about it on here before. For them to say that it's not unfair criticism, it's bogus, and that's what I respect about what Harbaugh said. But if he going to throw punches, and I'm happy that he stood up there, stuck his chest out for his quarterback. But just know somebody's going to return fire, and that what was returned. It's factual. We need more than 3 playoff wins in 11 years. That's just facts. And if you got this guy who you said is going to be the greatest quarterback to play this game, then it needs to show. Or he needs to. So we got to start pointing the finger at somebody. Then if he's that guy, then what are you doing? So it's fair, but Stephen A. just being Stephen A.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair criticism, I guess. I just don't want to hear from Stephen A. Smith.
I think that's what a lot of people.
Yeah,
I think that's a lot of people's point.
You are they've already said you are exactly what Harbaugh was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You are the one making up stories about Lamar left and right, so you can get some viewers. You're the one unfairly criticizing him, not the team. You were never criticizing John Harbaugh. You were criticizing Lamar. Mm-hmm. And now, because of Harbaugh's comments, now all of a sudden you want to tell the truth. So you can miss me with that. I don't want to hear from Stephen A.
I think, B, you hit it right on the head right there. It's a fair point, but we just don't want to hear it coming from him.
Yeah.
You're biting your tongue. What you got?
Because B said it all. Like when you first played it and I heard it, and I'm like, oh, he hit the nail on the head. But then I'm like, yo, Stephen A's a psychopath. Like he's the same dude that him and Shannon Sharp got on there and was like, Lamar not worth the money. He ain't this. And the very next week, he was like, what are you talking about? I would never say that. Lamar is prime time. He's the best. And I'm like, yo, this dude believes his own lies. So being that it came from him, I'm like, yo, it needed to be said, but just not from you. And then as far as Harbaugh goes, it's like, I don't want him saying stuff like that. I want you saying Lamar is going to be the best quarterback of all time because your actions don't reflect your words. You haven't surrounded him with any type of talent. Tom Brady, arguably greatest quarterback of all time. They gave that man Randy Moss. Even at the height of his powers, they gave him Randy Moss. What have we given Lamar? A little bit here, a little bit there. Like you're not helping him to become the greatest of all time. You're not helping him to attain that promise that he gave to Baltimore about winning the Super Bowl. So, both of them, like that whole thing I was conflicted about. Like I wasn't happy saying it, man. I'm just like, yo, you can kick rocks. You can kick rocks.
I was happy that he went out there and said something like that. I was happy that he tried to instill or at least came out in the public and like said stuff like that. I was happy hearing him say it.
And he should have said that during contract negotiations.
Yes.
Don't wait till now.
Definitely should have said it during contract negotiations. Definitely. So I didn't have this down, but since Mikey said it, I thought about it. And this is a legit question. With all the success that Pat Mahomes, because they talked about this in that same show too, with all the success that Pat Mahomes has had, can Lamar catch him and eventually pass him on the route to being the greatest QB?
Not with this coach regime.
Because Pat has 3 Super Bowls already.
3 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowl MVPs,
and he's not done.
Right. So that's a legit question, and if we say no, that's not being a hater. I don't think. Can Lamar catch Pat Mahomes first, and can he still go down as the greatest quarterback of all times?
He can. Right, there's still enough time in their careers. How likely is it? Not likely, right? 3 Super Bowls ahead, and Andy Reid ain't retiring tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And John Harbaugh is still our coach. So as long as those 2 things hold up, that gap's going to keep widening more. So we got to make moves after this year. Like Harbaugh can't be the coach anymore. I didn't even care if we won a Super Bowl last year. I wanted Harbaugh to go. Mm-hmm. Like, and honestly, I want EDC to go too. Like, we need a change in our way of thinking over here, right? Like, support. If you have a great talent like that, you want to be the greatest quarterback of all time. You got to start acting like it. Act like you have an offensive team. Get the weapons that you need to support him so he can go and carry that team. Not saying forget about the defense completely, but you got to have a shift in philosophy and make your offense the focal point.
Yeah, look, you got to think about it like this. Last 6 years, that iteration of the Kansas City Chiefs was the worst that they've been in 6 years. They still won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of plagued them all year was wide receiver play. They went out and got 2 of them.
Yep.
It's gonna be hard. Like we need even if we keep Harbaugh, which I hope we don't. He needs to change his mindset, and everybody wants to praise him. The thing that I don't praise Harbaugh about is changing with the times. he's still keeping that 2012, 2013 mentality and philosophy. It's not working. We're holding quarterbacks in the playoffs, the greatest quarterbacks of this generation. We're holding them to 17 points or less defensively, but we can't score. And then each offseason, we keep going and getting more defense. It's not making sense. Do something different.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I'll say this. I think Pat is closer to catching. He's closer to catching Brady than Lamar is closer to catching him. And I love Lamar.
That makes sense.
I love Lamar, but you just gotta give dude where it's at. Like that cat, he's a ball player. I think Lamar has a shot of passing him for most maybe electrifying, most dynamic weapon that we've ever seen. But I just think the way those teams function versus the way that we function, and that's being buyers, pushing all the chips to the middle of the table when that's what we're trying to do. We not there. Those teams will do it for them, and it puts Pat in a situation where he can say, all right, he'll take this contract, but I'll take a little bit less here so we can make this happen here and there. He's in that situation, and because he knows what they're going to do with that money, we're not there yet. So I think he can catch him. He might finish with more MVPs and stuff like that, but as far as like Super Bowl and stuff, nah, I can't see it.
So hearing everybody, I think the X factor is Andy Reid.
Yeah.
If the roles were reversed and Lamar had Andy,
oh, no question,
he probably could go down as the GOAT.
Yeah,
because the careers probably would be reversed.
If you think about the greatest quarterbacks of all time, what do they have? Great coaches. Great coaching to go along with it. We don't have that.
All right, let's move on to the next one, and it's going to involve one of Rodney's favorite players right here. Let's get it up. Let me get it up.
Chris Paul?
He said, do you see or
see if I turn this out, can you hear it a little bit?
think of yourself as the greatest dual threat to ever play the game?
No.
If not, who is the best dual threat the game has seen?
Lamar Jackson.
What? Who are your top three then?
Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick. I'll put myself up there.
All right, that's Cam Newton. And if you couldn't hear it, that was Cam's co-host asking submitted question from a guy. He says, do you see yourself as the greatest dual threat? And he said, no, it's Lamar Jackson. And he said, who is the greatest? He said, Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick, and he'll throw himself up there. Brian, I would like for you to start. Do you agree with that, with Cam, or no?
No, I don't agree with Cam. I do think that Lamar is the greatest dual threat at this point because, Carolina did a terrible job surrounding Cam with talent, and then he got hurt, so he didn't get a full career of Cam playing at a really high level. So I don't have any issue with him putting Lamar number one. I don't think that Mike Vick is number two. I think that's just a little that's just kind of fanish talk right there. Like, people love Mike Vick. Mike Vick didn't really accomplish a whole lot in the NFL. Mm-hmm. He had a couple of good seasons. I think you can throw a guy like Steve Young out there, you throw Randall Cunningham out there, better players than Mike Vick. But I would put Cam at number two, and then probably Young or Cunningham at number three. Cam was unbelievably talented. I mean, you got Anthony Richardson with the Colts right now, and we'll see how his career pans out. But, the league had never really seen anything like Cam. And then, Carolina happened. So, I mean, it was very, very unfortunate. But, as things stand right now, it's definitely Lamar. And I don't really see that changing on an individual status. I mean, we'll see what the organization does and how he finishes in terms of his legacy, but as an individual player, it's definitely Lamar.
It was interesting to see because I did a video on Cam's statement to see how the numbers like evened out throughout the year because I did like first year, second year, third year, all the way up until Lamar's current year, and it was crazy the jump when Cam won the MVP, how much the numbers like shot up, and when Lamar won MVP, how his numbers shot up because Lamar won in his second year, so his touchdowns and stuff kind of went through the roof, but they never caught Cam passing because Cam in his rookie year had like 4,000 passing yards, so his numbers passing never caught up with Cam, even though he had MVPs. And then when Cam had the MVP, his numbers just kept going through the roof. Chris, what you think about it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with it. For the most part, I agree with what Rodney said more. And I even throw Steve McNair in there because I think he gets forgotten about a lot too. And but yeah, like Mike Vick is more like a cultural icon than what people remember on the field. Like, not to say that he was terrible on the field, but I think people forget like he had his fair share of struggles during that time, and they kind of wax poetic about his playing days. And you can't take away what he did when he came back to Philly, when his mind was right and he was just playing out of his mind. That's the Michael Vick that could have been in Atlanta had he had his head on straight, had the coaching staff been good, because he had a terrible coaching staff too.
They would have had more wins.
Yeah. So to me, I would put the same guys that Rodney named and Steve McNair in there.
A lot of people forget about how good Cunningham was too.
Yeah. Let's not forget Randall used to punt too. Like, you talking about dual threat? Like, that's just.
And speaking of Philly, Donovan McNabb's another one you throw in there.
Did Donovan run? Donovan didn't run a lot though, did he?
He did early on, and then he tailed off. But I think he belongs on the list.
Dante Culpepper, honorable mention.
Fat Pepper.
Oh.
I don't mind him. I don't mind Vic being there. I mean, I don't disagree with any of the people that y'all saying or anything that y'all said. I don't mind him being there. I think when I hear somebody say greatest dual threat, like, I think of like just being a weapon. And I think Vic as a weapon was like, he was ridiculous. And I think, like, to Chris's point, I think we saw it all together in Philly, where he added, the passing game to the fact that he can get out there and run. But I always think of that playoff run when he went in the Lambeau and when they ain't lose, they never lost there.
The first one.
He went and did his thing. Like, I just think he was a special weapon. So when I hear dual threat, I look at it from a weapon. I think Lamar is even as good as, even as great of a weapon that Vic was. I think Lamar is even higher than that as far as a flat out weapon and being able to change and control the game. So I don't mind him being there, but I don't mind any of the names that y'all have today either.
Well, listen,
you gotta also add Josh Allen too.
True.
You do.
True. Yeah. Though for me, I had to think for a minute because it's always going to be Lamar number one. But when we brought this up, I had to think about Cam's career. Came in the league, wasn't thought of as a passer, set the rookie passing record, 4,000 yards until Luck broke it the next year. But he had some special years, and he went to a Super Bowl. But he didn't have the longevity, and I just think he laid the blueprint for the Baltimore Ravens. Special quarterback, don't surround him with nothing, hope for the best. Now, as far as Michael Vick being on there, he would not be number two, nor would he be number three. Because if you look at the duality of Michael Vick's career, you had the Atlanta years where he didn't study playbooks and he just ran around and struggled to pass for 3,000 yards. I don't think he really ever passed for 3,000 yards in Atlanta, but he ran for 1,200, 900 yards. So the second half of his career, when he was in Philly and to a lesser extent Pittsburgh, he was a passer. He wasn't really a runner then. So the dual threat aspect of his career wasn't really there in Philadelphia. So I think I would have to lower him down. So it would be a Steve McNair or Randall Cunningham, because Randall Cunningham, even in the league with less games and less emphasis on the running quarterback, ran for 900 yards. He was the first one to do it. So those two would be my three, and Cam would be number two.
Man, go ahead.
that blueprint you're talking about. That's called the black quarterback treatment.
Well, we know. I didn't want to say that
because I mean, McNabb got it the worst.
He got beat down.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. We see what Lamar can do, like in games and whatnot, running around and doing his thing, and we saw what Vic can do. But I'm telling y'all, that stuff is nothing compared to what Steve did in college. Nothing. Like, if you ever get to see film of it, it's probably gonna be super duper grainy. But I'm telling you, I saw with my own eyes. Steve would just run around. He'll roll out. He'll stand there and look downfield for a good 2 seconds. Pat the ball. Nobody be open. He'll reverse pivot, run to the other side, and stand there and pat the ball for another 2 or 3 seconds. Nobody be open. Then he'll take off down the field, get there. He'll do that move Lamar did in high school, where he stopped. And then he got another 40 yards to run down the field. Then he'll run across the field. Steve McNabb plays will take 3 minutes off the play, and that'd be one play. I'm telling you, this dude was by far the most electrifying person I ever seen in college. But the fact that he did that at a small school, it don't get treated like that. Like, I'm telling y'all, seeing that stuff in person, like a lot of stuff we see today, because it's an NFL or on a high college, like, imagine Tavon Austin touching the ball every play. Y'all know how good Tavon's highlight tape is.
Tavon was a beast.
Imagine that touching the ball every time at quarterback. That's what Steve was, but could throw the ball 80 yards. That kind of jukeness, and standing about 6'3" too.
And probably the toughest player of all time.
And had a moment like what's the OC that was at Tampa that played that Marshall on the one leg?
Byron Leftwich.
Had one of them moments too at Alcorn. Could barely even walk. Throwing the ball 60 yards, completing the ball, his offensive lineman taking him down the field. Had one of them moments. It's crazy. And that's why a lot of stuff I see Lamar do, a lot of it's nice. But I haven't seen a lot of it, just on a smaller scale. It's crazy. Like crazy. But Cam, for me, it'd be Cam, but not in no particular order. Cam, Lamar, and Vic. The thing here with Vic is, if you gonna put wins in your greatest dual threat category, that's where Vic come down at. But if you just talking about being electric and being a highlight film to make your jaw drop, he stay up there. So it depends on how you value greatest. If you're gonna put wins in that category, that's where you gotta drop Vic a little bit. But if not, if you're looking at like jaw dropping stuff, because Vic, he got a ton of highlight plays to make your jaw drop. But you just got other guys that won more. Steve Young won more. Lamar winning.
I feel like they're not just winning more. They're also better than Mike Vick. I mean, we gotta be really, like Hendo said, he didn't throw for 3,000 yards. To me, though. The Philly Mike Vick evens the Atlanta Mike Vick out to me. He only had one good year in Philly.
I thought he had 2.
Nah, he threw for just over 3,000 yards and 21 touchdowns his first year as like the full-time starter in Philly. He got to 3,000 yards the next year, and he had 18 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. Like he had one. That was the only good year really that he had as a quarterback in the NFL. He's got a lot of highlights, like you said.
Oh, that third year went to Pittsburgh, didn't it?
Yeah.
But he just didn't put it all together. I think had he put it all together and had a long career, he would have been the best quarterback ever. But he just never did. He
did lose. He lost. I saw somebody put it in there. He did lose some prime years with the dog stuff. Mm-hmm. He lost, and them probably would have been his best years too, because I put him at like 28, 29, 30. Them would have been his best years too.
Yeah.
If he'd have studied.
He'd have grown. He'd have matured, man. I got faith in him. Let's go just stock up, stock down before we be on Mike Vick for another 30 minutes. We'll be to change subjects. So the next subject is Jonah Schaefer put out, and he's there at practice. We was there the whole first week, and he put out a article in Athletic, and I know everybody don't have the Athletic, so I'm gonna bring it to you guys. And he put a stock up, stock down, and that's kind of what we do over here once we get to see film. But since we can't see film, we got to take somebody else's word for it. And so I'm going to tell you who he had stock up for the first week, and we can kind of talk about whether we agree or disagree, or but not whether we agree or disagree, or who do we want to see or not, because we got some names on here that we expecting things out of, and some people that we kind of figured it ain't gonna be worth for you know what. So the first name he got on stock up is Jalen Norman Davis. And he said you could probably list 2/3 of the secondary in this category. The Ravens defensive backs are averaging about 3 interceptions per practice. And I do want to say this for those that don't know. At the beginning of every camp, the defense is always ahead of the offense. Always for 20 some odd camps that I've been a part of, that I talked to other coaches about, or even now that I talk to my homeboy that's still coaching in college, and he coached defense, and he always like, man, we killed them today. And the first and second that we killed them today, man, we did da. And then if I talk to him in another week or so, it go back and forth because the offense start to get their groove. So Jalen Norman Davis having interceptions don't mean nothing to me right now. But anyway, Jalen Norman Davis is on stock up. What y'all think about that?
First of all, Coach, who wasn't there?
Who
wasn't in training camp?
Lamar. Lamar was not there this first week.
So he was getting picks off a Kentucky boy, like he was back at Alabama.
Thanks.
Look, I see this every year. Okay, I rather he perform against Josh Johnson than not perform. I rather hear that he got some picks than got lit up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take it.
Only got.
I don't want to see the starting lineup, but I'll take
it. All right, the second dude on the stock up list. This is one of Chris' favorite persons. Rashad Bateman. They say with the Ravens light on wide receiver depth, on the wide receiver depth chart, Bateman was expected to have a more significant role. The fourth-year pro has been one of the most scrutinized players in camp. There's been a lot of good so far, even with the passing game struggling without Jackson on the field. Bateman has made a few plays in just about every practice. He looks healthy, and that's the most important thing. He's moving well, running quality routes, and catching the ball when it's thrown to him.
I mean, that's good. That's what you want to hear. It's just him staying healthy, him being able to make plays, even with shoddy quarterback play. So, trend up in the right direction. But, we know how fans can be at this point in time where they're like, 1,600 yards, 15 touchdowns, over camp reports. Let's let them stay healthy throughout training camp and let's have baby steps when it comes to these expectations.
Yeah. He got nicked today. I don't know if you know.
Stop.
Yeah.
So like a chest or something.
I just know he about an hour through practice he got nicked and he jogged off though. Okay. And they say he took him off for precautionary reasons.
That's what I'm looking forward
to. A chest injury or something like that.
Yeah.
Harb said it was soreness, but you can never trust him. You can never believe anything he says.
That could be a cracked rib.
Yeah. Pretty much.
He'll be back tomorrow. He just got a boo-boo.
Soreness for Hobbs could be a season ending.
Oh, man.
All right, the next name on here is a name that I really didn't want to read. Daniel Falele at guard.
Why are you hating?
Is it stock up?
Yeah, it's stock up at guard. It said it's not that Falele has been a practice standout. He's been fine. We'll know more about how well his transition from tackle to guard is going once the preseason games begin. Now, I've been saying he's not been a tackle for forever, and y'all can, stamp that.
You have.
But the fact that he's at guard and he's doing better is me wondering what is people that back Joe D and say he's a good coach. If I'm seeing this from my couch, and I only see him one day a week, and I know this dude ain't a tackle. You see him every doggone day. How do you know he's not a tackle?
You see, the coach, this is exactly what I'm talking about, though, right? Like when I say there are some people that aren't qualified for these positions, right? You're more qualified than he is, right? Like I'll stand by that any day of the week. He just has the opportunities because, like you said, you've been calling this out for a minute, and they're just not come to a realization that, yeah, he's gonna have to play on the inside. That he should have been there getting these reps. You know,
Should have been there.
And
if he better than Cleveland, sorry.
Yeah.
First of all, coach, he's number one on the depth chart. Apparently he is.
Every video I see with what supposedly look like ones, it's Ronnie, it's Voorhees, it's Linderbaum, it's Falele, and it's McCarry. That's every video I see, because I judge it by Linderbaum. I see Linderbaum, I see Ronnie, I assume ones. What about you, Chris?
Coach, that's impossible. Ravens fans told me Ben Cleveland did so well last year, he was an all-pro.
Well, I saw him do well. I ain't say he was all pro.
Not you.
When Ben Cleveland was in the game, he did good.
He did. Spot duty.
That's the curious case of Ben Cleveland. I'm telling you, he's on that Ben Powers path, because Ben Powers didn't start during training camp either. So it's like, we don't get it. So when he's in the game, he's not a liability.
Right.
Not an all pro. But it's not like, oh, damn, we got to get this dude out the game.
He's doing his job.
Yeah, he's doing his job. And, you come in this year and it's like, all right, yeah, we expect him to be that person. Like the way that Andrew Voorhees is going right now. Like, it seems like that's Andrew Voorhees' spot. Like,
right.
Left guard. Like, it was supposed to be the other way around. This was supposed to be, all right, Ben Cleveland. They got faith in Ben Cleveland, so he's going to be the right guard. And for whatever reason, practice habits, who knows? Only they know. Because I quit trying to figure it out last year. What's the issue when it comes to them? Because like Coach has said 1,000 times, like, there's no way you watch John Simpson and you say, oh yeah, he's head and shoulders above Ben Cleveland. Like, I don't see that whatsoever. So I don't know. I quit trying to figure that out. Hopefully we'll be able to see it on film when these preseason games start, and we get some answers of our own with our own eyes.
It's like Ben Cleveland walk up in the cows and be like, practice. Not the game that I love. We talk about practice. Next up on the stock up is one of Hendo's favorite players, and I'll let him tackle this one. Who is your favorite third round pick that's a first round talent?
I mean, that could be any number of guys in Baltimore, right?
The facts. I'm lost. There's no such thing, Coach.
Now you forgot.
Oh, you know who it is.
It's no such thing, Coach. I've never seen a guy that was a first rounder go in the third, maybe the second.
Say it, Hendonomics.
Travis Jones.
Thank you, sir. Travis Jones is another guy who's been a fixture on this list at this time of year, but hasn't necessarily had a breakout yet. It just might be a matter of time once he flashes, or he flashes once or twice just about every practice. He looks to be in great shape at 6'4", 338 pounds, and has shown an explosive first step. Travis Jones, I think the heir apparent to Michael Pierce. I dropped a video about him last week, so y'all check that out later on, not right now. But I think he's in line to take that next step. Hendo jokes about him all the time, but he flashed a lot last year, and I think this is the year where he starts to bump Michael Pierce, just on, scooch him on right on out the way, and when this payday come up next year, get paid, young man, get paid, and get out of Baltimore.
You don't want him to stay?
I want him to stay if he performs like that. But the Baltimore way is for them to get better a little bit. Contract year, go slap off, and then we can't afford him.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But he's gonna be a terror in there because he's still big. He's just as big as Michael Pierce, but almost as agile as Matabike. So I think he's gonna be a combination of both, and you get him playing at his highest level at like a nose, and get Matabike at the 3. That's going to be a fearsome twosome in there, for at least this year and next year to come up.
That rotation got to stay strong, and it's about time for Travis to step up. In that having a solid rotation, like you said, that'll keep Pierce and those guys healthy a little bit longer. I mean, we still got what's my man that got paid with Broderick? Yeah, we got to keep it strong up there. But I think I've been waiting for this. I've been saying, y'all know Travis, my man. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is it. I think he does turn the corner this year. But I have been hearing good things about Travis.
All right. I think this is the last one on the stock up. But we got 2 more on the stock up. Next one is Arthur Marlette. Marlette is 31. He's played in NFL, 7 NFL seasons and was a key part of the league's top defense last year. Not much about Marlette, but it just brings up an interesting thing about how many cornerbacks we got. Like, some of these guys got to be trade bait toward the end of camp. Because you think about Brandon Stevens, Marlon Humphreys, Arthur Marlette. Those guys are pretty much, I would say, pretty much locks. Then you got Pepe, Jalen Armour-Davis, Wiggins, TJ Tampa,
Trayvon Mullins. Who we got from Houston?
Who we got from Houston?
The cornerback. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Harmon.
Oh, Hallman. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Something. So that's 6, 7 guys. Just corners.
The cut day bait, man. Not trade bait.
Now, somebody gonna need, because some of them guys on the back end decent.
And they're gonna get cut, and then they'll get picked up somewhere else.
Because EDC gonna try to at least get a 6th round out of somebody.
Every now and then, yes, a team doesn't want to mess with waivers, and they'll say, "Here's a 6th round or conditional 7th round or something like that." Every now and then we get lucky, and somebody just, they lose their mind and say, "Here's a 4th round." So that's yes, I can see that happening, Coach. I can see us dangle somebody out there, and we get some sort of compensation for them instead of just having to cut them straight out.
Mm-hmm. That's what they're gonna do. That's why they hoarding corners right there. They're gonna try to get a 6 or 7 round pick, or maybe even a 5th out of somebody.
Or they gonna stash Tampa, and then keep an extra body.
They're gonna try to. I think they're gonna try to do something with either Pepe or Jalen Armour-Davis.
Tampa gonna be hurt. He gonna stub his toe and be on IR.
Mm-hmm. And because of like I said, Worley too, because Worley at safety. They signed Eddie Jackson, Ardarius, and then the 2 starters. You looking at like 13 DBs.
Sanusi,
Sanusi, Bo Braid, yeah.
Trace Willen.
That's Sanusi, Bo Braid.
Well, first of all, Trace Willen's been making plays, so I don't.
Sanusi, Bo Braid.
How many wide receivers we got?
3. All right, the last one on stock up. I'm sorry. Adafi Owe, which is a name that is always on stock up preseason. Been basically saying that he's looking for his breakout year. That mainly they said that because Harbaugh had to pull him to the side and had to pull the reins on him because he kept getting in the backfield. And that was before pass went on. All this was before pass went on. Pass didn't go on until the last day. That was Saturday before this came out Sunday. We need Owe to push 10 sacks. That's what I'm gonna say about that. What are y'all thoughts on what we need from Owe going forward this year?
Mikey, stay healthy.
15.5. I'm still waiting on my 15.5 sacks.
You just transitioning it to career numbers now, right?
No, he just need to be solid, man, and be disruptive. And yeah, like get some pressure on the quarterback. Double-digit sacks will be nice, but he gotta be disruptive and be consistent. I mean, Harbs had to walk him back, right? He was causing too much havoc, supposedly, right? So hopefully that's a sign that he's turning the corner. But he's got to be that one guy that's we need somebody. I'm not saying it's going to be him, but we need somebody that's going to garner attention all the time, and that can help on the other side. Kyle Van Noy, whoever, somebody eating over there. But we need somebody to garner attention. If he's killing and he's strong like they saying he is, then that's what we need from him. That's what we're looking for from him.
All I'm gonna say about it is the last time that he was making plays like that, it wasn't a sign for Owe. It was a sign that your O-line's trash. So,
Oh, he was killing Villanueva like that. But I will say his body, he look like he's put on just enough weight to still be quick like he was. Because remember, he had bulked up too much, and he had got kind of too small. He looked like he done found the right mixture of beef and speed to be fast. But we'll see. Chris, what you expect out of Odafe Oweh? What would be a good sack number to for him this year, going into this year?
I mean, 8+. I mean, let's got to crawl before you walk. You can't be going crazy.
What we had 5.5 last year,
something like that. But it's it's the same. It's kind of like the same thing with Bateman. You got to stay healthy. I mean, he's shown flashes. He had good games against some of the best tackles in the league last year. He had Penei Sewell, he had Laramie Tunsil, and he had really good games against them. And those aren't just guys where you could just brush off and be like, all right, whatever, they suck. But now it's making that a consistent thing. Do that week to week. It's not just flashes, and staying healthy. I mean, he had the shoulder, and he had the ankle last year a couple times. So staying healthy is the same thing with Rashad Bateman. Stay healthy because they both have the talent. They just have to not be in the training room so much and put it out on the field. And he has to finish up his damn sacks.
All right. So let me ask you this question. Pressures, sacks. A lot of people like to dismiss pressures because they feel like you're not getting, you're not getting the full thing. And I know sack is not, pressure is not the full thing of the sack, but if a guy get me 45 pressures and 8 sacks, is he still considered a bum? Well, let's take that 45 pressures and 5 sacks.
No.
Nah.
It depends on you have to have context to it, right? Because but everyone loves playing the clip of because Ravens fans hate their own once they leave Baltimore, right? They love that clip of Orlando Brown getting beat right off the snap, right? And Oweh going to Pat Mahomes completed the pass. That pressure didn't mean anything. So you got to have context to it. But I mean, that's not going to happen 45 times. So if you're getting a lot of pressures, even if you're not getting a ton of sacks, that you're still playing well. But like I said, you got to have some context to what the actual outcome is before you can really judge it.
That's okay. Because all pressures ain't built the same. All pressures not built the same. That makes sense. My thing is just you got guys that make quarterback move off their spot and force incomplete passes or bad throws or bad decisions, and that's the pressure. But you also have guys like you just said that force quick throws, but the quick throws to guys that's wide open, and that pressure don't mean nothing. So I guess that's why you got to watch the tape because all pressures ain't the same. So sacks do matter because sacks meaning the quarterback still got the ball. So I guess that kind of makes my question be null and void. Sacks are like a DDSQ. Sacks are drive stoppers. So take my question back. Y'all just answered my question, made it seem dumb. We'll do 1 or 2 stock down. Let me see. Stock down. He got a bunch of wires. Oh, stock down. He got Ben Cleveland. Obviously, because
he lost his
because you losing a job. A job that's supposed to be yours 2 years ago. You seem to have lost it that year, and you're losing it this year. And like we basically just discussed it a minute ago. Like, what is he doing in practice that warrants not a guy that was about to retire or be out the league to take your job when John Simpson, and now a guy that didn't even play football last year then took it this year.
Well, he's the one that failed the conditioning test last year, right?
Cleveland, yeah.
You know Harbaugh's petty. It can all stem from that conditioning test.
It's wild. It's wild.
It could be something as petty as that. Harbaugh's just like, I just don't know if he's in shape. I don't know if he's ready.
Or it could just be a gamer.
I was about to say that. Like he strikes me as that guy that like, in practice, he just, I'm here. You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
when it's time to, when the lights are on, maybe he's a baller, and you always, coach, you can attest to this. As coaches, you always have that one guy who you like, yo, why don't you just do this 24/7? Why don't you do this all the time? But they don't show up in practice all the time. But then you put them in a game situation and they ball, and you like, yo, if you just manifested this, you'd be a problem. And it just seems like he might be that guy. Like, not saying he's like the ultimate gamer or whatever, but he just seems like he just strikes me as somebody that doesn't take
what you
the
know
practice
about
side of shit,
jump back like 5 deuce
serious.
tray.
And that might be hurting him.
Check that donation real quick. My bad, B. $22 from B Builder. Say what you know about jump back like 5 deuce 4 tray. Appreciate it. Sorry about that, Mike. It just jumped in there on you.
Get that moolah.
But anytime he, and Chris mentioned it, it's, bro, do you just want to hunt squirrels? Just go do that and stop wasting people's time.
He's got to do something to fund it.
Go back to Georgia and be a traffic cop. They need traffic cops down there in Georgia.
Y'all need offensive linemen in Baltimore. Like, I mean, so.
Jeez, you wasting people's time.
But you know what, Coach? Now that I think about it, and I think about the origin of offensive linemen in a symbiotic relationship with quarterbacks. Once he gets into that game, he may take it personal you hitting his quarterback. So that's why he turns it on. He's like, yo, that's my guy. Mm-hmm. So I need to protect him. So in practice, Lamar's not really going to get hit. So maybe that might be.
And Lamar wasn't there. Maybe that was a problem.
I mean, that is true.
Oh, he didn't want to practice because Lamar wasn't there.
but there's two types of guys, right? Outside of your guys that are ballers, you got the guy with the talent that just don't take practice serious, and then you got the guy that sucks but he practices hard as shit.
Yes,
and you gotta play him.
Yes,
he's like, I'm gonna reward you. And then you looking at the other guy who is 10 times better, but he just doesn't take the shit serious.
That's how I know you've been coaching, Mike. That's how I know you've been back coaching. That statement right there lets me know that's how I know you've been back coaching. Because I know you got somebody that's just got more talent in their little pinky finger than Joe over here. But Joe over here do everything you say. Yep. He do every drill right. Yep. He practice hard, but he can't make a layup.
Yep,
that's where y'all wrong. Meritocracy. You don't put in the dude because he brown nosing you. Put in the dude who can play.
But the dude that can play don't want to work.
He don't want to work.
You ain't got to work. All right. Your work day is Sunday.
It don't work like that when you get millions of dollars, though.
Yeah, dude.
It's the most frustrating thing.
That's exactly how it works. The more money you make.
That's true.
Hey, and the last one we'll talk about, because these other guys don't really matter right now because they hurt, is Josh Johnson. Say team officials anointed Josh Johnson the number 2 quarterback long before camp began, and there doesn't appear to be a competition for that role. With Jackson sideline, the Ravens got a long look at Johnson with the ones, and there was a fair share of struggles. This is kind of a red flag.
I heard they looking at Tannehill on the low.
I forgot he's out there. No.
Brother.
Your quarterback is Josh Johnson. What you mean,
brother.
You want to see the Ravens' complacency on offense look no further than Josh Johnson being back for his 87th season.
This is I think about Tannehill.
87th and
think about Tannehill, a bunch of F's.
I'm
Tannehill.
I'm sure 22 vouching for him.
Man, Josh Johnson's pension must be looking real nice.
You know what also looks real nice? His basement with all the jerseys on the wall.
So you realize they all got his name on them.
Right.
Yeah, Tyrod with the Jets, Blackula. My thing is, and y'all, and stay with me. Yeah, you may or may not like what I'm finna say.
Don't say it.
Don't say what?
No, go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
You may. Hold on, why my screen at? What that? All right, so peep this out. Peep game. So okay, so I learned this the other day with my daughter. She picked me up this little card game. So when you get when black folks get serious about something, it's be like this. Okay, so boom. Mm-hmm. That what they say, Mikey?
Yeah.
Okay, so boom. Look at the Browns quarterback situation.
I knew you were gonna do it.
They got Jameis, Snoop, DTR.
Mm-hmm.
They can't keep all of them. So we can pick up one of them, and then we'll have whatever one of them, Devin and Emory. Because I think Emory better than Devin.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all ain't fit.
Who we getting? Snoop back?
Or James maybe.
I'll take Jameis.
I take James.
Y'all don't want to have a good backup someday?
Flacco not a free agent.
Tannehill's not a good backup.
Flacco with Indy.
I didn't say Tannehill. I'm just saying, like, you know,
Flacco and Indy.
That's one thing the Ravens don't do. They don't spend money on backups.
Yeah, they don't spend money on offense.
Like,
But yes, B, I would like a good back. I would like a good starting O-line. I would like good starting wide receivers, and yes, good enough talent to where we have a good backup quarterbacks and rotational receivers and all. I want all that on the offensive side. Treat the offense like you treat the defense.
You want rainbows and shooting stars and purple honeymoons and all that, don't it?
Yeah, everything they have over on the defensive side of town.
at the right price, I'd have a conversation with Tannehill at the right price.
Yeah.
That price is vet minimum and not a penny more.
There you go.
If we wanted
There
a
you go.
quarterback,
If I
we
call,
should
you
have
better pick
drafted
up.
DeVuis Richards from North Carolina Central
right.
You better be
HBCU,
wearing
where we
purple
drafted
already.
Devin Leary. DeVuis fits our offense. Instead, Ob Johnson.
Chris left us.
Chris gone.
I think his internet dropped out.
Okay.
Let me see. Jared just tipped us. He said we should have drafted Davis Rashad from North Carolina Central if we wanted a quarterback. Well, we drafted Devin Leary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Malik's done with quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Malik's done with quarterback. All right, we're gonna do one more thing before we get up out of here. I think this was one of the little topics that a lot of people was interested in that actually showed some love over there too. We're gonna talk about my power rankings.
Mm-hmm.
See if I can get this on the screen.
And why Carolina was once again criminally underrated.
Because y'all about to be the Detroit Lions of 2024.
Goddamn right.
Look at that. Look at that positivity. Look at that positivity.
We already did our prediction video. 10 wins and a division championship.
Look at that positivity.
That was
Y'all
your
let me-
prediction.
Y'all let me know if Chris fall back in here.
Our prediction.
My man Bryce showed up ready for middle school.
Oh,
Backpack on.
Oh, you see you see any of them highlights from camp? Like they're showing, he's making these nice throws out to the boundary and all this stuff. You don't even see him. The ball comes up out of nowhere.
All right, so they I think they can see it, but you guys can't, and so I'll kind of go through it and tell you where it is. So we'll start at 32. 32 was the New York Football Giants. 31 was the Washington Commanders. 30 the Denver Broncos. 29 the Tennessee Titans. 28
right, so
Chris back.
Chris back. Let me get Chris in. Let me get him in. 1 second. I don't know why I do that. Y'all see my whole screen. There you go. You in place? There you go. All right. You hear me, Chris?
Yup, I hear you. You guys hear
All
me?
Yep.
Good to be back. Long time, first time.
29 is the Tennessee Titans. 28 the Carolina Panthers.
Rails.
Let's talk about it. That's too. You saying that's too high? Why do you think that's too high?
Because man, like they can't continue to be this bad. Like just by sheer luck, one of these years they're not going to be the worst.
You want me to pull up the actual rankings for their positions where I have them, and you want to talk about that?
No, he's saying it too low, not too high.
For the offensive side, we could do the offensive side. I don't want to talk about defense.
Okay, it's gonna take me, but
goddamn Brown defense.
Yeah, and
hold on, it can take me that long.
And that's it.
JC Horn.
You got JC Horn.
6 games.
All right, are you ready?
Oh,
so for you want offense or defense?
Offense.
So for offense, I have your quarterback room at 24. That's too high, too low.
Okay, I mean, considering what happened last year, we won't go into too much detail. That's fine.
All right. Your running back room, I have 17.
You know, I'm going to say that's too. I mean, are we saying low as in?
Well, everything's between 1 out of 32.
I think
for those that don't know.
I think they should be ranked higher because Chuba, like they don't have any great running backs at this point. But Chuba and Miles had a horrible season. I think he's going to bounce back. Chuba is a solid player, and when they drafted Jonathan Brooks in the second round.
I think Jonathan's your best running back.
I think so too, but I think it's a solid room all the way through.
Okay. Wide receivers, 18.
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
You have an aging feeling, and then you have a guy that you hate me for.
If I was about to say, if I had to take you at your word, Deontay Johnson and Jonathan Mingo is good enough already. And then they got their first round pick, and they still got Adam Thielen. I mean, that's probably fine.
Okay. Tight end, I have 31.
I mean, they should probably be 40 at tight end. I don't know. I believe in Jatavian, though.
Okay. And O-line, I have you at 16.
I do think they should be high. I think they're going to prove to be higher than 16. I understand why you have them right there with, again, what had transpired in 2023.
So what are we arguing about then?
Because they're going to win 10 games. They're going to win the division, Coach. All right. They don't have to make
pretty much just agree with me on every position.
On paper. All right. Just like the Detroit Lions, it didn't make sense on paper, but it happened.
You pretty much just agree with me with every one.
They will get 30 touchdowns from their.
He wants you to use your emotions. Think with your emotions and not your logic. Okay.
Bryce Young MVP. CJ Stroud done told you he's better than CJ. You ain't gonna listen.
He did say that. He did say that. He did.
You gonna call CJ a liar now?
Yeah, CJ, you're a liar.
Yes,
not a liar, delusional, but not a liar.
Wow.
Storyteller.
So you want to go defense or no?
No.
Okay. 27, and I think this is one a lot of people gonna disagree with me with. Is the Chargers. 26, the Cardinals. 25, the Buccaneers. 24, Patriots. 26, Colts. No, 23, Colts. I'm sorry. 22, Saints. 21, Packers. 20, Bengals. 19, Raiders. 18, Jaguars. 17, Bills. 16, Seahawks. 15, Eagles. 14, Cowboys. 13, Steelers. 12, Bears. 11, Jets. 10, Rams. 9, Browns. 8, Falcons might be a stretch. 7, say again.
Yeah, I think
that is a stretch.
For the Falcons?
Yes.
That, by the way, is my real issue, Coach. You got them last in that trash ass division. I don't even care about the number, but they can't be the worst in the worst division in the league.
But again, I mean, you break down the positions.
I think they got the fifth best running back room. They got 3 single digit groups to me. The 5th best running back room, the 4th best O line, and the 9th D line edge.
They're 32nd at quarterback though.
They are not.
They're about to be.
They might be about to be, but they are not.
36-year-old Achilles is just hanging on, and Michael Penix ain't ready to play.
Shit, you see that dime? He Penix threw a dime the other day.
Penix throw a lot of dimes, Mike. They keep sleeping on my dog.
Bryce Young throw a lot of dimes in practice too. Where are we ranking him?
The MVP.
24th.
Okay
then. Where we at? 8 Falcons, 7 Texans. I had a tie for 5th between the Vikings and the Ravens.
Yeah, they didn't like that.
A lot of people didn't like that. Let's go through the Ravens.
Vikings got better when they got rid of Kirk Cousins. I see.
So even though they came out with the same exact numbers as far as an average, I'm going to go through each position group for the Vikings and Ravens and kind of let you can do the math if you want to. It ain't that serious, but I'm just going to go through. All right. So in the quarterback room for the Ravens, we had number 2. For the Vikings, they had 31. In the running back room for the Ravens, we were number 4. The Vikings had 10. And keep in mind, I factored in Keaton Mitchell in the Ravens running back room.
Who is the Viking? Oh, they got
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. Mm-hmm.
I think that's a little high for us.
I factored in Derrick Henry a lot. In the Ravens wide receivers room, 23. The Vikings wide receiving room, 15. And keep in mind, the Vikings wide receiver room could have been better.
Wait a minute. 23?
15?
Yeah.
Jordan, Addison is suspended, right?
Yep.
He's suspended?
So it's Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and pretty much that's it. When you look at the guys up under them two, it's twice.
I don't see what
else. What is that? They lost.
I'll see what else you need outside those two.
Now this is where people was tripping. Saying I was tripping. In the tight end room, I got our tight end room 9th because of usage. Mm-hmm. I factored that in too. I got their tight end room 1st.
Yeah. What's the problem?
There ain't no problem to me. All right, and O-line for us 31st. Mm-hmm. O-line for them 10th. Defensive line for us 7. Defensive line for them 15. Linebackers for us 20. Linebackers for them 4.
20.
Yep. I don't know what Trent Simpson gonna do.
Yeah.
Linebackers, I'm sorry. Cornerbacks for us 14. Cornerbacks for them 18. Safety for us 1. Safety for them 3. And I couldn't even, this is a little personal note, I couldn't even get through the end of their episode because when I was calling out their draft picks, I got to a certain individual's name and I just shut down. I kind of had forgot what had happened. Mm-hmm. And when I was caught, because I do their draft picks at the end, and I got to his name and I lost it for a minute. So I just stopped recording and just ended the during video.
Yeah.
I don't even have no connection to the kid, nothing like that. But it just thinking about it at that moment just hit me.
Yeah.
But that's how we were tied. So I had a tied 5th with the Ravens and Vikings. But I mean, I ain't put no lollygagging stuff. Like any kind of bias I would have had or thought I would have had doing this came out last year. Like when I did it fair and square last year and we were first. So anytime I do this from here on out, I'm always do it fair because my team ended up being first the first time I did it. So it's gonna be fair and square from whenever I do it from here on out. So us being 5th, 15th, 32nd is whatever the numbers be. That's what they're gonna be from here on out.
The biggest factor is this thing that we've been talking about this entire offseason. That's the O-line, right? Mm-hmm. If EDC and Harbaugh get it right, and that O-line holds up, we can be a whole lot better.
Right. And the thing is, if we had people that played last year, the O-line wouldn't be 31st. Right. We just got question marks.
It's the unknown.
And it's tough. It's tough to evaluate unknowns. That's why it's 31st. If you put 3 guys there that had played and we can say they did XYZ, they wouldn't be 31st. But it's just it's 3 unknowns. But it is what it is. And so it was a tie for number 3. The Dolphins and Chiefs were tied for 3. Lions were 2, and 49ers were number 1. 49ers were the only team to average a single digit. They had the number 4 wide receiver room, number 2 tight end room, number 6 O-line, number 2 linebacker room, number 2 cornerback room, and number 9 safety room. So that was the only team to have a single digit average. Everybody else was 10 or above, from 10 to 25. And so I had a blast doing that. And last year it took me about 3 weeks to do the research. This year it took me 6 weeks because I did a lot more intensive research on it. But that was the power rankings.
That's a good list, man. You did a good job with it.
It is. I'm going to say the same thing I said last year. I think that some of the disagreements come from. I personally think you should weight quarterback more. Right? Like if you look at Minnesota and Baltimore, I think the gut reaction is, how's a team quarterback by Sam Darnold as good as Baltimore?
True.
Right? And if Sam Darnold,
I did think about that this year. I did.
If those guys don't pan out, it can ruin a lot of the other positives that they have going on. But other than that, it's other than that and what happened at 28, it's a great list.
I also had one that my fellow Roundup member helped me work on this year too. You remember that, Chris?
Yeah.
Chris was one of the guys that helped me work on the top 50 list, and I'm gonna show the top 10 on that one and tell y'all who that is. I ain't gonna go through the whole 50. Show you the top 10 on that. And then that's how we gonna end today's roundup. So Mike, I don't know if you were around, but cause I know you had your summer stuff going, but we just gonna roll through this top 10 real quick. Number 10 on this list, and y'all can tell me if you think it's too high or low for these guys. Number 10 is TJ Watt. Fairly accurate.
Yeah.
You can make an argument. Yeah.
9, Jamar Chase.
Okay.
8, Michael Parsons.
I probably have Watt over Parsons.
7, Josh Allen.
Too high.
It's the turnovers this past year. Yeah.
6, Myles Garrett.
Yep.
5, Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
4, Tyreek Hill.
All right.
3, Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
2, CMC.
Okay.
Then 1, Patty Mahomes.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Trent Williams should have been in the top 10.
Who?
Trent Williams.
Trent he's on here, but he wasn't in the top 10. But I will tell you one thing, Trent was 13. Chris made sure I put them big boys up in there.
That's where it starts.
He was instrumental in making sure I did not forget the big boys. Chris, Mike, and Kerry helped me do this list. But Chris was instrumental in making sure I didn't forget the big boys.
Where's Chris Jones rank?
Chris Jones is, let me see. No, Chris is this. Okay, this is the one I messed up. I think Chris is 13 and Trent's 14. Yeah.
Okay.
So Trent's 14 and Chris is 13. That's the one I had messed up on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I ain't got no gripe with that list.
That was fun. That was giving me something to do throughout the week as well. But so what we're gonna do is, until we get a little bit more info, we ain't gonna just filibuster you out to death. We're gonna run this thing back in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, that'll be August, not the 5th. That'll be the 12th. And so we should have some football to talk about by then, if I'm not mistaken. Should have some football to talk about. So, but before we get up out of here, we're gonna let everybody tell you where you can find their work and what they got going on, because I know Mikey has some information to give you guys, because the original gang has gotten back together. Is that right, Mikey?
Yeah, so the OTR boys, we have been back. We recording. It's not YouTube. We back to the original. We've done everything. We going back to the original state. Everything we record in person. We are straight podcast, listening podcast. But it's about 4 or 5 episodes up right now of new content on Off the Record podcast. So go check that out. Eventually, man, I'm gonna get back to this. Open mic. Eventually, I'm gonna get that popping. Look, my brain don't work like that. We're figuring out all this extra content and doing the other show. But yeah, at least I am recording, so I am getting my feet wet with that again. So check that out, Off the Record podcast on all your streaming podcast streaming platforms. Check it out, man. I think we got some dope stuff that we talked about so far.
Indeed.
You can find me at the Rogue Pod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, all the social medias. And I see you when I see you.
You sound like you about to say peace.
When I put out a video, when I put out a video.
Oh, Chris, what's good with you and the crew?
Nothing. We just on hiatus. We'll be back mid-September. I don't know.
He don't know that right now.
Now we talk. We've been talking, but that we haven't even we talk about how much we haven't been watching football. That was our last conversation, I think, last week. So yeah, we'll be back whenever the season starts. Maybe before. Who knows? We'll see. As far as me, I put out an article a few weeks ago looking at the top 10. I think it's top 10 offensive tackles in college football. You could check that out. I think it's pinned on my Twitter. If not, I'll do that shortly. But yeah, that's all I've been doing.
You do, and this,
and that. But I don't want anybody watching this joining me on that.
All right, we are the Lunch Break Hot Take. We do a live show every Wednesday night, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. We follow that up with the overtime show that you can find on our Patreon at patreon.com/LBHT show. And you can find us on all social media pretty much at LBHT show. All right, or you can just Google us. Google Lunch Break Hot Take, and you'll find all of our stuff.
And also, there's probably not going to be a show next week, but we'll let y'all know.
Oh, sure. Yeah. We might put something recorded for you. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, there may not be a live show Wednesday, but we'll have something out on Wednesday for you.
This Wednesday or next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday. And also, we gotta record something, Mikey, for Ring Kings podcast for all you boxing fans out there. We had a little streak going.
This weekend.
Buzz this weekend. Yeah, okay. So
it's a great card this weekend. Isak Cruz is on there. He said he wants to fight Gervonta Davis, Teofimo Lopez, and Ryan Garcia in that order, but not Shakur Stevenson because he's boring.
Oh, you better watch out.
And Shakur's too light anyway. He calling out. I mean, he's in a different weight class.
I think he's just jumping on the bandwagon.
And that Jay Prince gonna say something if you call him boring.
I mean, if he can remember to.
Oh, man. And that's on Ring Kings podcast. Ring Kings podcast. Check it out.
As far as for me, all the point stuff fires back up August 1st, which is Thursday. So what that means is when we fire up a live or we fire up a premiere, when we get 25 likes, I drop you 25 points. And at the end of the month, we have our giveaways. And, that fires back up August 1st. And so what I'm going to do is, like, if you've been getting points for chatting and talking in the chat box, August 1st, I'm not going to take you to 0. You're just going to start from where you at. And wherever you end up at the end of August, them going to be your points. I ain't going to, restart that because, we ain't been doing too much. We just been, floating on the lazy river this summer. So August 1st, but when we have our live, like next roundup we have, when we get to 25, likes, dropping 25 points, 50 likes, 50 points. You buy something or whatever and I see it or whatever, you donate and you get your points. Same, all that fires back up. And at the end of the month, y'all know how we do. And then when we start having games and live streams, we'll have our trivia and all that good stuff. We're going to fire back up, man. We're just going to have fun this whole season. All right. So that's pretty much our show for today. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. AB. Aren't we going to see you again sometime this week? You and Jose?
Oh, fuck you.
You are going to see us tomorrow on.
I don't know what time it is, so I couldn't plug.
Ravens Talk with Yolanda. I think it's like 7:00, right?
I'm not sure.
7:30.
I have to check the thing.
Ravens Talk with Yolanda. Go subscribe to Yolanda's channel. She's doing a great job over there. So yes, we'll be on. Thank you, Hendo. Thank you for reminding.
Oh, if that's the case, I'll be there Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So Jose and B tomorrow. I'll be there Sunday. Hendo was there last night.
There you go. Go subscribe. And also, look, Coach is really close to 10,000 subscribers.
The
guys,
count in the chat somewhere.
We all have our jobs. You need to do yours. Hit that subscribe button. All right. Don't leave without hitting that subscribe button, and then calling a friend or a loved one to tell them to go over here and subscribe. Okay.
And if you really want to be generous, you can go over to More Sit the Talent and subscribe over there. I left y'all a good old regular long video that you can just teach you some football, the difference between gap runs and zone runs and examples of each.
There you go.
And it got some good Raven stuff in it too. While I'm talking, you don't see me, you just see Gus Edwards running over people. Any closing words for the people?
Peace and love.
Peace and love, y'all.
We back, snitches.